Welcome back to Dakota Cowboy here on Beck TV. We're presented to you each and every week by our good friends at Dakota Community Bank and Trust. We're out here on the patio at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, also known as the Elvin Nelson Memorial Arena, visiting with board member Ron Kramer. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Bill.
Look at that mustache. How long we been working on that thing?
Well, I bet it's been a long time. You know, I don't have much to do, so I've been growing a mustache.
Ah, well, looks like you got a lot of time on your hands. You know, you reside in Kansas. How long have you lived there?
We moved to Kansas. Mona and I moved to Kansas in 1984, so we've been there since then.
Okay. What drew you there?
Well, a fellow by the name of Frank Whittam. We were on a ranch out by Hardin, Montana, and we're North Dakota natives, Mona and I, both of us, but we were on a ranch at Hardin, Montana, and we ran I was foreman on that ranch. We had a large cow-calf operation, but we also took in yearlings in the summer, so Frank Whittam from Leota, Kansas, ran yearlings on us, and got to know him really well. He told me, he said, if you ever decide to leave here, don't look for another job, just come down and work for me. So we were 45 miles from Hardin, Montana, and that's where the kids went to school. So it was a long way to go to school, and when our kids started going to school, we decided we'd like to live a little closer to town.
Okay.
And so I called Frank, and we went down to Kansas and looked, and coming out of the Wolf Mountains in Montana to southwest Kansas was quite a culture shock for geography especially, so we couldn't wait to get back. And a month later we were living in Kansas, so Frank was pretty persistent, and that's how we got there, and we've been there ever since.
Sounds like a whole lot of cowboy stuff, Ron.
Yeah, a lot of cowboy stories there, yeah, sure.
So, having said all that, what are your ties back to North Dakota, and particularly the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame? You've been a board member for quite a while.
I've been a board member for this is my third term, I think, and the term's a 3-year term, so I've been near 9 years now. I was born in Mountrail County, North Dakota, in a little town, grew up in a little town called Wabeck, which is not too far from Parshall. And then my mother's aunt and uncle owned the E7 Ranch at Foxhome, North Dakota, a purebred Hereford outfit, and I started going up there in the summers when I was 11 years old, and spent a lot of time, as much time as I could. I missed as many days of school as I could to go up and work on that ranch, and so that you know, I'm a North Dakota native. Mona, my wife Mona, was born and raised about 30 miles north of here on the short. Her dad managed the Short Ranch, and then so we're both North Dakota natives, and that's what drew us to the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. And then I had a rodeo career for a number of years, and started in the NDRA and moved to the RCA and
What events, Ron?
I rode bulls and bareback horses, and mostly bulls, but I mixed the two, and so I was involved in rodeo and ranching, and that you know, and then my wife's uncle is Rex Cook, her dad is Jim Jeffries, her great-grandfather is A.N. Jeffries, and all three of those have been inducted into the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. So our ties to the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame run deep, and we're very, very adamant about the success of this, and happy about everything that goes on here.
When did you and Mona get married?
We got married in 1974.
74. And how many children?
We have 3.
You have 3.
We have 3 living. We lost a daughter at birth in 1987, so she would have been the last child born. But we have 3. We have a daughter, Kelly, oldest son, Cody, and Casey, who a lot of people at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame know Casey.
Casey spoke here at one of our events one year as the fitness coach for the Chicago Bears, and we're anxious to see where that career goes. Another story for another time. Perhaps we'll get him on the program. You know this is coming. Speed bump in our conversation, but in December you were at the National Finals Rodeo and suffered a tremendous loss. Your wife Mona passed away, and Ron, I have to tell you, I've observed you since that time, and you epitomize cowboying up. You went through hell. It was.
I did.
Yes, but you know, I see you today, confident, content. You seem to have come to terms, and you know, you're going through a year of firsts, birthdays, first Christmases, all of that. You went through the first Christmas right away.
I did.
Yeah.
Mona passed away December 10th, the last night of the National Finals Rodeo, and we'd been going to the finals for a long time, and we had a great time. She had a great time out there, and but it didn't end anything like anybody would have thought. And it was, you said it, I went through hell, but you know, she would have, if she could have told me, she would have said, and I think she did. She, you know, cowboy up, and you know, and when people ask me how I'm doing, I tell them the old cowboy saying, well, I'm healing, but I'm not harried over yet. You know, and I don't know that I ever will be, but you know, I tell people, without a strong faith and a good family and really good friends, I don't know how anybody could get through.
Yeah,
you know?
And tears are love. If it weren't for the love we had for these people, we wouldn't have the tears that we have. But moving forward, you're doing some things to honor your wife's memory. We're seated in front of one of them. This is a beautiful fountain. It says Remembering Mona, 1952 to 2022. E7, is that one of his, is that brand of significance to you?
Yes, it is. That's our family brand, and that was the E7 ranch at Foxhome, North Dakota that I talked about earlier that I grew up on. That ranch has since been sold, but I registered that brand in Kansas and Oklahoma. And that we're in the cattle business down there, and we're in the cattle business with our daughter and son-in-law and our grandchildren, and that's our ranch brand. And Mona was really proud of that brand.
Yeah. Is this this painting? Is this of significance also?
Yes, it is. That would be Mona on a horse, just following some cattle to water. So this water fountain is very, very. You know, Mona was a cowgirl, and when we were younger, she was a great help on the ranch.
She was so much fun. I never saw that woman without a smile on her face. She's always glad to see me anytime I saw her. And this just takes my respect for her and you to a whole another level.
Bill, this was her favorite place.
Really?
Yep. And so this is bringing her home.
Yep. You've also done something to help youngsters in the name of Mona Kramer. Explain what you and Marv Semrau put together.
Well, at the annual meeting in Minot, my son Casey and I were there, and we talked about doing a memorial scholarship in the name of Mona. And so we did. And it's $1,000 a year, and it'll go on forever. We put enough money in an endowment fund in the name of the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame to fund that memorial scholarship forever. As a family, we decided to do that, and the decision was an easy one. So it's open to any high school student or current college student, but the main criteria is either they or their family has to be a member of the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. We're going to talk about it this weekend at the induction ceremony. Rick and Marv Semrau are both going to talk about it. So, but we're starting that, and we'll name the winner or the
recipient?
Recipient is the word I was looking for. Recipient.
Don't try this at home. I'm a trained professional.
Yeah, I know. We'll name the recipient at next year's premiere.
Okay, that's wonderful.
So, it was too late to start it this year. And we were already into the school year, you know, and halfway through it when, more than halfway through it. So we're going to have the forums and everything available. And like I said, the board of directors of the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame will go through the applications and select the recipient, and then we'll announce that recipient, like I said, at the premiere next spring.
I got to tell you something. None of this is new to me, because when I heard about the scholarship, I called Marv. I said, "What can you tell me about that?" He told me how the thing's going to work and how the mechanics work and how it's always going to replenish itself and everything. Going to do the same thing in the name of my mother.
Yeah,
so
great.
So that, and it was inspired by what I heard how it works for you. But
yeah, no, we were, you know, I wanted to do something in Mona's memory that would last forever, and as long as there's a North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, that scholarship will always be there. And you know, those that need to be self-funded every year can come and go with generations, but we didn't. I wanted to set this one up so that would never happen.
Wonderful.
And that's what we did.
And moving forward, we got the inductions this weekend, and you got a little wedding coming up in July. Casey and Casey.
Sure do, Casey and Casey, and they're getting married July 15th in Appleton, Wisconsin, and so we'll all be there for that, and our whole family is going to be here for the dedication of Mona's memorial fountain and the announcement of the scholarship. And so we're all going to be here for the weekend, and I'm looking forward to that. And it's going to be good. And you know, this isn't easy, but for me yet. But like I said, I'm healing. I'm not headed over yet. But we're glad that we could do what we've done.
What would be one thing about Mona that you could share with our viewers that nobody would really know about? What is her favorite color, her pets? Favorite music? What would you say?
Well, she liked old country music. I suppose as far as her favorite music goes, it'd probably be Merle Haggard or George Strait, one of the two.
Of course.
In the evening when we'd get ready for bed or go to bed, she would put in a CD, and it'd usually be Haggard.
All right.
Or George Strait. So that's a little. But her favorite color, and the people that know her would totally agree. Her favorite color is turquoise. You know, she was a turquoise jewelry. She loved it, and she was always but turquoise would be no doubt her favorite color, and you know, she was dedicated to her family and her friends, and like I said, she loved this place. She loved Medora. This was her favorite place to be.
Wonderful people, both of you and Mona. So all these events that we'd have is so great seeing you. You've always been complimentary on the things that I and the rest of the staff do at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame. You're one of our favorites for sure. So
I appreciate that, and Mona was the one that I always said I'd just tag along with her. You know, she was I was fortunate enough to be married to her for 48 wonderful years, and I feel I got nothing but good memories, and so I feel real fortunate about having that time with her. God gave me a good life.
Yes, he did. I'm proud of you, Ron. If I couldn't think of a better way to pattern my life than after the way you've lived yours and continue to do so. Mona's here with us. She'll be with us forever, and I appreciate you taking the time to do kind of a tough interview. We talked about this at the annual meeting yet. And
no, I couldn't have done it, and it's still hard for me to talk about her. But you know, like I said, it's been I had a great life. We had a great life together, and we had a lot of fun, made a lot of good friends, and raised a good family. And she did all that. I just, like I said, I just came along. I was along for the ride, you know.
Yep. And congratulations, new daughter-in-law coming in July.
It's gonna. That's
do you have grandchildren? Do you have any grandkids?
I do, and they'll be here. I got my daughter Kelly that's here with me right now, and their grandkids are coming Thursday. They'll be Joel is 20 and going into his third year at Oklahoma State University, and our granddaughter Marley is 15 and she's going to be a junior in high school, and they're both ranch kids, and cowboy and cowgirl, and they're pretty handy. So proud of them.
Board member, strong supporter, cowboy, all-around good guy, Ron Kramer here on Dakota Cowboy, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust.